MJ, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Third Down Thursdays. A very melancholy Third Down Thursdays to start off
Yes.
real quick. Before we get started with our normal shenanigans and fun activities, RIP to an absolute legend, Dick Butkus. Um, Potentially one of the best middle linebackers of all time. Everyone epitomizes this man as the best ever. So rest in peace, Dick Butkus, Chicago Bears legend, and shitty day for the Bears, shitty day for fans.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have said that better. And it's weird as a Packers fan being sad when something like this happens for Bears fans, but it's more of like a holy crap historical NFL. Like, this is not just a Chicago Bears thing. This is all of
NFL.
the NFL thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's bad when the commissioner comes out and makes a statement minutes after,
Right.
because that's how big he was for the game of football.
It's. I mean, it's the franchise. It's a charter. It's a charter franchise of the
Yeah.
NFL, and he was a part of that.
Absolutely.
What's crazy about it is a buddy of mine texted me. He's like, "Dude, he was just at the game last week, and
Really?
yeah, he was just at the game last week. So his last game he witnessed for the Chicago Bears was a 21-point comeback win for the Denver Broncos. So
That's really sad.
Sir, I hope you, sir, are up in the football gods with Walter Payton, and you guys are getting some W's up there because you deserve it. And we will continue to wallow in dog shit down here. That being said, MJ,
Yeah.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. This is the temporary setup for right now in the new place.
Oh,
My
what's
name
that?
is also not Jackson. Good to
What-
meet you, Bruce. My name's MJ. You coached
What
me in high
happened there?
school. That's probably from last week when Jackson hosted and I wasn't here.
Oh, we got
Um,
him. We got
there
you.
we go.
We got
Um,
you.
So yes, we got moved in to the new place. Give me like 2 minutes and I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. So we got here. We drove from Mississippi on Saturday, right? We had our plan all figured out Sunday, rested, hung out with the fam. We were supposed to move in 9:30 Monday morning. Okay. And we get here. Paige and I are in the office at like 9:31. We're ready to go. I see the office manager and I see her see me see her. And I knew something was wrong because she just ran away immediately when she saw me. I was like, huh, that's interesting. Maybe she forgot the keys in the back, right? So Paige and I get in. We start doing things. And the first thing is she says, hey, give me like 20, 30 minutes. The cleaners haven't come yet. They were supposed to clean the apartment. I'm like, all right, whatever. Paige offered to clean the place herself. The woman's like, no, we wouldn't dare have you do that. Like, they're on their way right now. We'll just have them go there first. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're signing whatever stupid paperwork that I could have sworn I signed online.
I still can't believe this.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're signing the paperwork. She sits down and she goes, so guys, I have some bad news. And I'm thinking, like, we don't get the apartment. Like, my mind went to the worst place right away.
Of course.
So, they didn't replace the carpet in your apartment. And I'm like, huh?
Fucking clean it. I don't care. Let me go. Let me get in my fucking place.
Well, Bruce, it was nasty. We saw the carpet later. I don't know. And I don't even want to think about what the people before us in this place were doing, because it was nasty. It was disgusting.
Ew, dude,
so, long story short, we were supposed to get our apartment at 9:30. The carpet people did not leave until 5:30 that night. And so this whole thing, we returned our U-Haul late because of it, blah, 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 blah. And then the last thing I'll say before we get back to Sportsland is after all of this, right? She apologized, blah, 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 all day. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This shouldn't happen. Da, 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 right? We go through, we get in our apartment, whatever. It's fine. Tuesday was Paige's birthday. So I didn't really think about anything. I didn't do anything for TDT. We didn't really unpack. We just enjoyed Paige's birthday. Yesterday, we got back to it. We're unpacking. I get a call from one of the regular apartment people
Here we go.
They call Paige and say, hey, you still owe $160 in application fees.
Wait, what?
They were trying to get $160 more out of me.
After
they were already 8 hours late on getting us our apartment on Monday. So Paige doesn't even answer. She just hands me the phone and goes, this is a you problem. And handed me the phone. And I went off on these people for 20 minutes. I said, I think it's really convenient. Myself, my family's friends lost $110 to a U-Haul. Like all of this on Monday. Now, 2 days later, after you apologized and thought I calmed down, try to come back and get $160 out of me. I said, And so by the time we were done, I got all of that waived, got my U-Haul paid for, and got about $20 extra. Because
what'd you do with the $20?
I don't have it yet. We're just gonna leave it towards rent for next month. Just leave it in there.
I would take it and go get like Chick-fil-A or some shit.
Well, I work there, so I can get that whenever I want.
All right, Chipotle. How about that?
Oh, I love Chipotle. I need to go there tomorrow.
There you go.
But yeah, so it was just one of those things where I'm like, I can't believe the audacity of this woman to like, and I literally said over and over to her again, I'm like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that you're actually serious right now. Like huh? So,
that's crazy.
To all of these service industry people out there, because I don't know if Alex is watching right now, that's what really ticks me off. Bruce, is because that's what I do for a living, and customer service was terrible. Right. Apartment is nice. We're enjoying ourselves. We're getting settled in. Looks great. But the process,
I'll be honest with you. In the next few months, we'll be making that transition to a new place. Not soon, but soon enough. And I'm not looking forward. I don't miss it. Like I don't miss moving everything. I don't miss the whole rigmarole. I'm old enough to say that now. Rigmarole.
You're old enough to say whatever you want, Brucey Bruce.
Wow, thank you, sir.
But Bruce, real quick, we get about 5 minutes before we get on to a little structured action, which I know is weird for us. But we're gonna give it a go.
We're trying here. Here.
Bruce, I will leave this to you. We have reported earlier this week. That Matt Eberflus is on the chopping block, depending on how this game goes tonight. And so, before we get into the entire world of sports, Bruce, in your opinion, how does this game go tonight, and what does that do for Eberflus's head, which is on said chopping block?
All right, so saying that, we're very fortunate enough to have somebody inside the halls of Hallis, out in Lake Forest, that gave us some like a little nugget. I say little nugget, but it's a significant nugget about having the papers ready to go for Matt Eberflus if the Chicago Bears do not have a significant turnaround in the game tonight. Excuse me. Saying that, what do I think about the game tonight? So my heart right now, and there's a reason why I don't have a Dick Butkus jersey. I have a Brian Urlacher jersey I'm wearing currently, obviously. And
the modern version, yeah.
I had to wear a linebacker jersey for the show tonight. I was going to do that. I was going to wear a Bears jersey tonight because I am so down on this team. And that being said, if I'm going to go with my rational thought process and not my feelings and emotions towards the Chicago Bears right now, I'm going to say the Chicago Bears lose this game. And I think that they lose this game by a significant margin. I'm going to say 31-17.
Okay.
And I think that I think Flus is out. He's out tomorrow. I think he's out tomorrow. And what's going to be the difficult process that they have after they get rid of him is who do they hire? Who's the interim head coach? You have Getsy, who has had problems with calling plays. To flat out,
Yeah.
problems calling plays. You have no defensive coordinator because we don't even know what the hell happened with that situation. and like all of a sudden that's under the rug.
I'll be honest, somehow I forgot about that, which just speaks to how depressing this organization is right now. Oh my gosh.
And how we have no idea what's going on with that because you have Eberflus calling defensive plays, which is part of the reason why I think it's asinine that they haven't brought someone in or promoted within to call defensive plays, or at least get the title of defensive coordinator.
Right.
So, there's one man I would like to see be called the interim head coach because he runs a cover two. And frankly, I've been all over social media about this. I've talked about this with friends. I've had a conversation with you about it. Bears have to get out of the repeated cycle of bringing in defensive coordinators as or defensive minded people as their head coach. I don't want it anymore. I'm cool with it. However, this year, what's the scheme the Chicago Bears run? The cover two. Who is a master at the cover two? Tony Dungy, yes, but who's a disciple of Tony Dungy? Guess what? Former Chicago Bear coach Lovie Smith. And who was the last Chicago Bear coach that
do anything relevant?
Yes, for their system and for this franchise, Lovie Smith. I'm telling you, and there's nothing that I've heard about this. We haven't talked to anybody. This is where we haven't.
Yeah, we've got no. We got no
one on Lovie.
This is just what Bruce wants.
This is what I want. I want Lovie Smith to return to the Chicago Bears as interim head coach for the rest of this year. And guess what? And you know what? If they bring him back, awesome. This guy's still collecting money from U of I. This guy's still collecting money from the Texans last year. He's fine. He doesn't care. Dude's an absolute badass. He understands the system that they're trying to run. The linebackers currently for the Chicago Bears are cover two linebackers. All right. The problem with the Chicago Bears is not specifically the system that they run. It's having respect for the authoritarian figure that they have at the helm, and also the fact that if you're running a cover two system, you have to have a defensive line that is a good enough defensive line without blitzing without blitzing anybody else. You have to get pressure at the front four. That being said, it is time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring this gentleman in. Hopefully, he is our interim. Speaking of interim producer, doing work behind the scenes right now for us, and we're calling this the Davis Division, ladies and gentlemen, the Davis Division. So that being said, welcome Connor. Connor, what up, dog?
Hey guys, I'm glad to be here. I'm always behind the camera.
All right, buddy. All right, let's hear some news, bro. Let's hear some news.
Okay, so going back to the draft, y'all kind of made fun of me with my first overall pick being CJ Stroud.
I knew he was gonna do this.
I knew it.
I knew it. All right, give it to us. Come on, give it to us.
It seems to be that CJ Stroud is the best rookie quarterback this season so far. With that being said, history has been broken. CJ Stroud is the only quarterback and the first quarterback in NFL history to pass for 1,200 yards with no picks.
You know what else happens too? Shit does roll downhill. So,
come on, Bruce.
I know. I got nothing to say to that. CJ Stroud's been balling out. I totally agree with it. And when I saw all those stats and what he's been doing lately, this year. And man, dude, there's the thoughts that crept in. I'm not gonna lie. Should the Bears have traded the number one pick?
Just imagine a world, Brucey Bruce.
Nope.
Where Lovie Smith doesn't tank that game. and things are so different.
Yep.
They're in Houston and they're in Chicago. It's crazy, but no, CJ Stroud has been absolutely incredible. There is not a smart mind in football that isn't raving about CJ Stroud right now.
Well
and
done,
what
Tom.
I love, my last thing on this is what I love, Bruce and Connor. When I was at the draft in Kansas City, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson did an interview together after they got picked, after another, and the trades that happened. And those two sat at the podium in Kansas City, had never met each other before, had never really interacted other than on the field against each other. And those two sat there and said, before we even get on this field, we're going to do two things. We're going to give you a winning culture, and we're going to give back to this community. And that's what they went into Houston wanting to do. And whether or not the Texans themselves have gotten to a winning point yet, I really don't think that matters, because on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, they have two incredible leaders, and that's what's going to get you a winning team.
Agree. All right, what else you got? What else you got?
Right. So, me being a Saints fan,
Here we go.
I had to include. This is not Saints topic, but we do play the Patriots Sunday. Shout out to Jack Gaffney if you're watching, Patriots guy. So it comes to my attention, and it could have happened last week, they did win last week. Okay, so if Bill Belichick does
Wide
win
open
against the Saints Sunday, he will have won 300 regular season games. 330 actually, 330 regular season games. I think that's cool. I mean, I think that puts him at second of all time. I'm pretty sure. Based on what I saw.
He does.
And the question is, Bruce, who gets credit for those wins?
I don't know. All I know is Justin Fields just missed a wide open Darnell Mooney. All right, so who
Shocker.
who gets credit for those wins? All right, so Tom Brady gets credit for those wins. I had to.
I set you up to not say the stupid thing, and you still said the stupid thing.
Damn right I did.
I said, here you go, Bruce. Here's a beautiful beach ball on a brand new tee. And you said, nah, I'm going to bunt it. What?
No, but in all seriousness, though, I like he's one of the best. So he's a great defensive mind, too, to be honest with you. But you know what he does really well? He delegates. He's able to find people.
Yep.
And he go! Let's go! Come on! Sorry. He hit that one.
That man should not be allowed to have his TV on right now.
I know. I'm sorry. But anyway, he does a great job of delegating work to other people and finding the correct people to surround himself to be successful. That's all I'm going to say. So, Connor,
the man is also an incredible general manager. Like, we forget that he's the GM, and all of those signings and draft picks back in the, even just Randy Moss, Darrelle Revis, all the incredible talent they brought in, he brought them in. Tom Brady was there, but he's the freaking GM and head coach. There are so many people. Like, Matt Eberflus can't even handle being head coach. He can't even handle, calling play or even thinking about calling a play.
He can't even think.
And he doesn't have a brain cell. And Bill Belichick does both. That's just incredible. Shout out to Bill Belichick, one of the best press conference holders of all time, by the way.
True. And by the way, his little I say his little his wife, girlfriend, or ex, or whatever she is now. Good job, Bill. Good job. All right, Connor, what's up?
All right. Let's go on a good note. We have a return to the field this week, and that happens to be a king of the pup list this season, Jonathan Taylor. He is set to practice this week and play, hopefully, for the rest of the season. I do have him on one of my fantasies.
He's committed to
hopefully
the rest of the season.
He comes out and shows out.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's going to help Anthony Richardson significantly because the young man needs it badly down there in Indianapolis. Shout out to JJ Stankovic. Good guy. We've had multiple times on the show. It should get a little bit more interesting, especially in that division, because I don't see anybody running away with that division whatsoever. So that being said, it's a great grab. It's good that he's back. It's basically acquiring a badass player at the cost of absolutely nothing.
When healthy, he's one of the best running backs in football, if not the best. And I'm starting to get really, really sad that the Green Bay Packers were not willing to part with a third-round draft pick and A.J. Dillon. I'm starting to get really, really sad because that was the framework for a deal for Jonathan Taylor. And the Packers said, no, we're good. Are you, though? Sure would have been nice to have another star on the team. A star is a star, Coach Bruce.
Agree. Star is a star. And, hey, real quick, speaking of stars, before Connor is going to let us touchdown, let's go. Before Connor decides to jump off real quick, I have a question for you, Connor.
Yes, sir.
Son of a bitch, I lost it because they got a flag on the play. I forgot my question, man. It's so bad. This is what happens when I get distracted by freaking the Chicago. I can't stand this team. Why do I watch this? Is there a flag? Anyway, Connor.
Continue, Connor.
Yeah. Go ahead. Next one.
Okay. When there's good, there's also Browns. Browns, bad. So, with that being said, I am a very big Sean Payton fan.
Oh, no.
Being from the Saints, of course, I am inherently supposed to like the Broncos.
Ooh.
Well, today the Broncos decided that it would be best if they part ways with Randy Gregory, what do y'all feel about that? The man slandered the Cowboys on his signing and loved it, and now he's nowhere.
It's hard. I saw something, and it really is true. Part of it is the Patrick Mahomes effect in that division. Like, the Kansas City Chiefs are so good that everybody has to overspend to try and pump up their defenses, and then they still are terrible. Now, a lot of that has to do with Sean Payton. I don't think he was fit to go coach this team. However, I still think, and I said this initially, I'll say it again, it was a massive overpay for Randy Gregory. Not that he's not a talented football player, but somebody who already had documented organizational issues. Combining that with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson and whatever is going on up there in the Mile High City, I mean, anyone with a brain could have told you that was going to end poorly. Did I think it was going to end 4 weeks into the NFL season? No. But anyone with a brain could have told you that wasn't going to end well.
So we were very fortunate enough last week to have Cam Ellis on the show from Denver. Shout out Cam Ellis. I did ask him if there was a point of contention with having Russell Wilson and Sean Payton in the same building, because I felt that their egos would clash. He said that wasn't the case whatsoever, but at the end of the day, you want to put yourself in position to have under the same roof people that get along. You have to have and this is cliche as shit, but you have to have a family type structure. You have to have people that are comfortable around one another. And if you don't have that, what happens? You get released and you get let go, and people say bye-bye. So, great choice by the Broncos to make it. Like, if they felt that he was you're seeing in Chicago right now, shit with Chase Claypool. You're seeing a similar situation play out in Chicago. So it's only a matter of time before they release him. So I feel that what the Broncos did was the absolute best choice.
Connor, last one before we throw a commercial and get to our guest.
Okay, y'all get to pick. We can go to MLB, we can go to NBA, or we can go to college football.
Give me baseball.
Let's do baseball.
Do baseball.
Well, that's one of the most important news in sports right now.
Is it?
Let's talk about the Twins.
Oh,
Let's
I
talk
love
about
it.
the Twins.
Yes.
They swept the Jays, and it's their first advancement in the playoffs since 2002. 21 years.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, guys?
I absolutely love the fact that they did that, because they broke an 18-game losing streak in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So incredible job by the Minnesota Twins. I'm pumped for that franchise, especially the fans. living in Chicago and seeing what White Sox fans say to or say about Twins fans. I'm a Cubs fan, but hearing what White Sox fans say about Twins fans, I love it. Congratulations, Minnesota. Y'all deserve it. Keep going, and that team's very good.
Bruce, I can just imagine, because my team's all the way on the other coast, I don't really pay attention to Twins fans that much. With how passionate Vikings fans are, I can assume how passionate some Twins fans might be, and I'm very happy that they can at least get a win. I have nothing personally against the Twins. They've had some great players run through there, including my good buddy Bartolo Colon, who you just can't hate. I've never met him, but I just love Bartolo Colon. That's just a personal thing for me. But Bruce, the only thing that is better than a Twins victory is some good insurance and a good guest following the break. Bye, Connor. You have to actually run. I wasn't ready.
I thought you wanted.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
Call Jeff Wertepny at 704-464-4544. Let him know that Third Down Thursday sent you, and believe me, he will help you guys out with insurance. All right, so I got to tell you, I am pumped right now as a Chicago Bulls fan. And I'm sure he hears me right now. I know he hears me, but I'm gonna say this. As a Chicago Bulls fan, I'm pumped up to introduce a former assistant coach to the Chicago Bulls, former pro personnel scout for the Utah Jazz, and just an overall badass guy after looking at everything he's done for basketball in general, because I love basketball and that's my stuff. Dean Cooper. Dean, thank you so much for jumping on with us. How you doing, Dean?
Good. Hey, Coach Bruce, MJ, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely, Dean. So, Dean, if you can, for our listeners on Spotify and people who may be watching this right now and again, later on, can you give us a quick breakdown of your NBA career, what you're doing now, and everything like that?
Sure. Well, I started I'll give you the quick version so we can get to whatever it is we're talking about. People probably don't really want to hear about me anyways, including my wife.
Hey, believe me, I get it.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to get in the NBA from college, and where I was coaching at the University of Buffalo in 1999 with working with Rudy Tomjanovich.
Awesome.
So I stayed with the Rockets. I was with the Rockets for 9 years. I started out on the coaching side, and then after Rudy left, I was really fortunate to get absorbed and move over to the personnel side and work under Carol Dawson and Dennis Lindsay, who eventually became the president of the Jazz, and then Daryl Morey came to the Rockets. So I worked a while with Daryl, and then I went back to the coaching side in Minnesota, Portland, and then just happened to come back to the Rockets for a second tour of duty, for lack of a better term, with Kevin McHale, who I worked with in Minnesota, and then to the Jazz for 4 years. The Bulls, as you mentioned before the break, for 2. And then I spent the last 2 years back in the college ranks, Division I, and then got out. I've been away from my wife a lot. So now I'm back. I live in my permanent house in Nashville. So in Nashville. And you can probably see by this rack of guitars behind me somewhere.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. So that's why part of the reason we moved here. And so I'm doing some individual development lessons,
Nice.
some consulting, and both here in the U.S. and abroad. And, and hopefully, to be honest with you, I want to do some TV and color analysts and do some radio and iPod, and so I can be like you dudes.
Oh, well, I don't know if you want to be like us. But
I see you're flying the W. I see you're flying the W back there, Coach. So.
Oh, he does.
I got the W here. We got the championship banner here. We got a Michael Jordan here. We got Stacey King here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I'm always going to rep my respective teams that I grew up loving. So I got the Bears on over here. So I apologize if I out of nowhere look over to my right and I say let's effing go or something like that. But no, if I may, Dean, I never got to the coaching status that you have gotten in your career. Congratulations. I love that. I think it's amazing. I've only gotten to high school ranks, but what is a moment in your professional coaching career that like immediately that's like that was an absolutely effing awesome moment?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been fortunate, and I've had several. I think obviously getting my first NBA job, that's. I never even thought about being in the NBA, to be honest with you.
So cool,
I was trying to be a college coach, and people ask me all the time, like, how'd you do it? I said I lied, cheat, steal, and they believed it, and I got it.
That's great.
So I was very fortunate, but I get this question often, and forgive me if I get a little emotional because I was on the USA staff in 2006.
Oh yeah,
with Coach K, his first year, and did the game prep. And I come from a family of police officers and people who've been in the service and served our country, and I didn't do that. And the reason I get kind of emotional about it is, for when I first found out I was going to do it, I said, "Oh, this is a chance to serve my country." And when I got there, it was such a cool thing. Like when they play that national anthem and you got that USA on your chest. But what I realized was quickly that I was not serving my country. I was representing it, but I wasn't serving it.
Yeah.
And there's a distinct difference.
Yeah.
And if you said like just an impactful thing, and that would be, I get asked this question a lot, and I give this exact answer every time.
So I
love that.
I just got goosebumps. So that's absolutely amazing. MJ, I got one more question.
No, you're good. Go for
I'll
it.
I'll let you go. So I just love hearing that. I love the aspect of the humanity that's behind what you do as a coach, because that's kind of what it's all about. You can draw up all the X's and O's, but it's the humanity that's really cool. So thank you for sharing that. If you can give us a example of a time though when you had some kind of a goofy experience with some of your players. It doesn't matter who it is. You don't have to share who it is. I'm kind of interested to hear the interaction with some of the guys down there that you may not have. When I say down there, like when you were in 2006 at the USA, like what was the interactions with some of those guys that you may not have had? How were the practices, and what was some of the fond memories that you had with that group?
Well, are you talking specifically about the USA experience or just
Yeah,
throughout the NBA?
the USA experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I had a lot of I don't know if I had any goofy experiences with them, but that was a really unique experience because of my role.
Mhm.
And also all those guys, they were all kids at that time. LeBron, CP3, Dwight, um, Dwayne, Carmelo, they were in the infancy of their career. And it was and then we had some older guys. Antoine Jameson had, been in the league, and Brad Miller had been in the league, and some guys like that. But I don't know if there was a goofy kind of moment in there.
How's the interaction just in general?
The interactions are great. First and foremost, because Coach K created such a good culture, and and in USA basketball, Sean Ford, Jim Till, those guys,
They're awesome.
I mean, they're the best. And so, it was very unique, and and we had great coaches. Coach Boeheim was an assistant.
Awesome.
Nate McMillan was an assistant, and Mike D'Antoni was an assistant.
Great.
I think this is not a player, and I love Coach Boeheim.
Here we go. I can't stand zone defense. Sorry, Coach. My bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I've never played a possession of zone in my life, ever.
If you can't play man to man, you shouldn't play basketball.
Yeah. Well, it works for him. But I will tell you a funny story. It wasn't about a player, but this will make you laugh. So I was in charge of all the game preps. So, say we played Lithuania on tonight, and the next game we were playing Germany. So even in the friendly games, so I would make, in those days, DVDs, and I would write up the game, all the stuff by hand.
Wow.
And after the game, after we played Lithuania, I would go put the Germany scouting report under every coach's door. And the DVD, the scouting report, everything. So I'm sitting at breakfast one day, and Coach Boeheim comes and has his scrambled eggs and his bacon and potatoes, whatever else he has on his plate. And he just stops and he said, "Hey, Coop, can I tell you something?" I said, "Coach, you've won 800 games. You can tell me whatever you want."
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. He said, "I've never seen anybody work like you, be as prepared as you. Quit putting that stuff under my door. I'm not going to read that." I said, "Whatever you need, Coach." So
you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah. He's the best. I mean, he's a great human being, and he probably does it different than a lot of people. But it's worked. I mean, you can't win that many games and coach for that long, unless you can figure it out. But what he figures out the most, and I learned this working for Rudy Tomjanovich, is Coach Boeheim's got people figured out. If you got people figured out, you can do a lot of different things.
Agree.
So to that point, Dean, obviously coaching college is going to be different than coaching, say, Team USA. So for the fans out there who just want, the Avengers to assemble per se, and all of these incredible players to go play for Team USA, how hard is it on the coaching side to actually mold all of those playing styles together and get them to play as a unit when you do go to represent your country?
It's a great question. And obviously, my time there total was short, but
Yeah.
I worked for Rudy, who, people in fact, I was telling a college coach this yesterday, that, Rudy in 98, now I'm bragging about Rudy because he's like my dad, uncle, mentor, big brother. He had to qualify for the Olympics during the lockout. So he had all, in those days, CBA players.
Good old 98.
Oh my gosh.
99.
That's right. So he had to, the hardest part was qualifying for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then he won it. And so before my 2000, and I had just gotten to the Rockets. So Wellesley did all what I did, and Mike Wells did all in 2000, did for Rudy, what I did for Coach K in 2006 in the staff. So I had some idea, but I think the most difficult thing is what you have to appeal to is when every kid transitions from high school to college, for them, they're one of the best one or two players on their team, right?
Yeah.
And then when they transition from college to the NBA, they're one of the best one or two players on their team.
Yep.
And then it's not dissimilar from that transitioning from the NBA to now playing for your country because they're taking the best players. Right. So they've kind of been through the process. And then, and I say this all the time, whether it's about the NBA and certainly I wasn't in a major, let me be clear about this. I was in no sort of decision-making role.
Yeah.
I'm observing it where Coach K did a great job and Rudy did a great job. And these guys is making them understand is there's a goal here that's bigger than any of us. And, getting them to buy into that. And even in the NBA, over 82 games, 100 games, when you get to the playoffs, like if you can't get people to sacrifice for one another, it's really hard.
Well said.
I love that. That's fantastic. Bruce, I know you're loving that as a coach.
Oh, 100%. When Susie said that, I was like, this is great.
Yeah, that's getting to Bruce. I know that.
Go
ahead, Bruce.
So you've obviously had absolute great mentors and great people to work with. Coach K, Boeheim, Rudy, Tomjanovich. You've had great kind So I know you already said Rudy. You're like, you keep talking about him, and I get that. But one of the things I'm kind of curious about is what game plan was potentially what game plan was the hardest to incorporate with the players on the actual roster. You don't actually have to tell me the information on the roster or give me the names, but whose game plan basically was more difficult to incorporate and be able to explain to the athletes and try to produce on the actual court.
You talking about the coaches I work for?
Yep.
Wow, I've never been asked that question. Honestly, I really haven't. So, that falls somewhere on the spectrum of great to holy cow.
Let's not go that far because
there we go, Bruce.
I'm usually the one that asks the Jackassian questions. So.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that, but that is an amazing. I don't know if you've ever asked that question to other people on this show. Unbelievable question. I won't say. I'm not going to say the coach.
Okay. Fair.
And
is he active? Hold on, Dean, real quick. Sorry. Is he active right now? Can you give me that much?
I'm not going to answer that.
All right, fair.
You guys are too smart.
Go.
Once in a while.
Yeah. But so one coach in particular, it really wasn't the information.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when I first got in the league and you're standing in front of NBA players who are making lots of money, and
Right.
I've been very fortunate. I coached a lot of Hall of Famers, guys who are going to, be in that. Like, there's an anxiousness when you're a newbie of
100%.
of the presentation of it. But I did have one coach in particular, like I was more nervous about my presentation with him because he was very, very particular about the verbiage and how the message was delivered. It wasn't that the information was more difficult. It was the preciseness of how it needed to be delivered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understandable.
And I will say this. Can I say this? And this is why.
Yeah, sure.
Here's what I was actually talking to Chris Mack yesterday, who used to be the coach at Louisville. And I told him, I said, what NBA players care about first and foremost is that you're in a partnership with them.
Yep.
It can't be about you. And I learned that from Rudy. But the second part is the second thing, and it's 1A and 1B. It's not even 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know that you are competent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a trust factor.
Correct. Because professionals know, like, you're like, I have a consulting thing I'm doing now. It's called Win the Margins. Mm-hmm. 98% of professional sports is the same. You got to figure out how to win that 2%. And that's what players want to know. They don't want to be embarrassed because you didn't know what you were talking about.
Right.
So, and that's why that coach was that way. He wanted, like, you better get across, exactly what you're telling them.
Yep. So that sure as hell wasn't Coach Boylan. Anyway, I'm sorry, Coach. I'm just messing.
So, Dean, I got a question. Obviously, you've worked on the coaching side. You also did scouting for a time for the Jazz, correct?
For the Jazz, and 5 years on the personnel side. When, like I said, when Rudy left, I transitioned. Most of my time on the personnel side was in Houston for 5 years, actually.
Okay. So when you're doing the personnel side, I've got two questions. Number one, how much does your coaching experience help you with that? And number two, who is your best find?
Great questions. So it actually took me some time, MJ, when you're going to evaluate a player, that's different than preparing for a team. So you have to look at it through a different lens. So that took me some time because I had only ever coached. I went out and evaluated players to recruit and stuff like that. But when it's at that level, so what you have to learn is you got to look at it through a different lens, and that takes some time and acumen, and it's just like anything else, right? Like, just because you're in the same business, you take a different job, you got to learn a different skill set. Wow. And you can probably, the one thing I talk about all the time, you can probably see my shirt here, it's on there, it says hone your craft. And I'm really big on you have to treat your profession like a craft. Mm-hmm. It's no different than being a potter or a blacksmith, or it's a craft. Yeah. So that took me some time. And then, I'm a little hesitant to get it to say like, oh gosh, I found this guy, because I try not to ever get my ego involved, and some other guy on one of those other 29 teams might have thought the same thing about that guy, and we were just fortunate enough to draft him. But there were some guys along the way that, I think maybe I got a little bit of a head start on. But the Yogi Bear, thing is like,
It's good.
hey, boo boo, like, and getting in that deal. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I don't want to be evasive, but I don't really know if I'm comfortable answering that question, because
That's okay.
some other guy on some other team might have thought the same thing about the guy, but our pick came before their pick.
That's fair.
But Dean, you got that picnic basket. You got the picnic basket first, though.
I get what?
You got that picnic basket first, though.
He's making another Yogi Bear joke.
To go on with the Yogi Bear joke, you got the picnic basket first.
Oh yeah, okay. You cut out for a second, but it's the old, I'm the smarter bear, right? Like, I'm not the smarter bear.
Right.
Maybe our pick came first.
Gotcha.
You get some right, you get some not as right. Like, being on the personnel side is, you're basically an insurance salesman. Risk versus reward.
I like that. Bruce, I could sit here and listen to Dean tell stories all day. Do you have a last question for him?
Dean, I actually have two questions. I have a follow-up after the second one. It has absolutely nothing to do with the first question. But that being said, though, I'm going to call myself out on it. So when it comes to pro personnel, like with scouting, how much do analytics play a role in what you are doing?
A big role, actually. And I was really my graduate, my degree is actually in economics.
Okay.
And I never, for a long time, the only thing I used it for was to balance my checkbook, because I was, if anybody knows what a checkbook is anymore. But
I do.
Me too.
We still do.
Thank God. So, and then, so I was always pretty analytical. And then even with Rudy, we were kind of on the forefront of it. And then obviously when Daryl Morey showed up, that stuff, it got shot into hyperspace, right?
Right.
So, and it's I mentioned, and I'm not trying to sell books or my business. I'm just using it as a frame of reference. A big part of my consultation is advanced analytics, and understanding that, looking at traditional box scores and things like that, they don't tell you that it's not the truth. So I think it's really a big part of analytics is a big part. It's part of the puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle. It's live evaluation, film evaluation, advanced analytics evaluation, and background checking. And you got to take all those pieces and you got to put them together and make sense of it. It's a puzzle. Analytics it's a roadmap, but it's not the destination. It's not the whole thing.
I love it. That's great, Dean. So, last one for you. I was gonna ask you who wins the NBA championship this year, but I'm not gonna do that to you. But Dean, I am gonna ask you this. You live in Tennessee now. there's a lot of great distilleries and other things like the great beer places, breweries around that area. What's the beer or drink of choice for you, my man?
That's a great question. So, well, I did. You got to remember, I coached in Portland for 2 years, which was
that's good too.
Yeah.
Like that's craft beer haven, right?
Yep.
So here it's a lot of distilleries. So I'll give you my favorite beer in the world. Free and cold.
Well said.
That is a smart man. Talk about some analytics.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well said.
Oh my gosh. I
well
love that.
said.
Well,
Well,
Dean, thank
that's
you
great.
so much, sir. I really appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with us. Like I said, we could listen to you tell stories all day. We're gonna have you back soon, especially once the NBA season gets going.
Have me back anytime. Can I just say one thing on my way out?
Please,
Absolutely.
Because you, Coach Bruce, you have your Bears stuff on.
I do.
MJ, you got your Packers stuff on. And I'm from Michigan, and my Lions are for real.
Oh, okay. So all right, Dean. So real quick,
We're gonna bite your kneecaps. We're gonna bite your kneecaps.
I think it was ankles. Dean.
No, it was
Ankles,
kneecap.
kneecaps.
It was
Whatever.
kneecaps.
All right. So that being said, though, Dean, I'm gonna ask you. So we do a large show with like NFL people and this, that, and the other on Thanksgiving morning. Would you be willing, if you have free time, to jump on with some Lions gear and give your thoughts on the Lions for that day, if you're available?
I would be thankful to do it on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we got
You
him.
guys
Let's
send me an
go.
invite. I'll do it. I'll have maybe I'll make turducken in honor of Coach Madden, who's
Love it.
is there ever been a better NFL announcer than John Madden? No.
No.
Nobody
No.
loved football more than John Madden.
Yes.
I agree. Well,
So
you know what's
I would
funny?
be
So
happy I would be happy to do it. And normally, unfortunately for a lot of years, that Thanksgiving Day game for us Lions fans was melancholy. But this year, I think it's going to be a celebration.
Don't you play isn't it the Packers?
I don't know who it is. But
I'm pretty sure it's the Packers.
I think it's the
I'm
Packers.
pretty sure it's the Packers,
It's
and
the
that's not
Packers.
going to go well for the
This
program.
is gonna be great. I can't
That's
wait.
not.
All right,
But
Dean.
yes.
Well, thank you so much. Hey, real quick, Dean, if you have a book or you have anything, please, by all means, right now, pub it up. Like, say what you're doing. Say whatever you want to say, so that way people can find whatever you want to have out there. Go ahead.
I don't have a book. I don't have anything like that. I just got on social media because I stayed away from it. And now I'm working kids out and I have Cooper Sports Properties, but I do have Hooper's Workshop that I post on Instagram.
Ooh.
And one of the things I'm really proud of on there is every Monday I do a Mindfulness Monday thing where I talk about an aspect of our existence off of the court that will help our performance on the court from all these incredible people I've been around. And so if you would like to follow me on there and share it, that would be awesome.
I just gave you a like on the Facebook page, Dean. I got you.
We got you. We'll post it on our social media too, so that
Yes,
way
sir.
we can let everyone know.
All right, man. You guys are the best. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Keep promoting sports and the goodness of it, and do
Always.
it the right way, man.
Exactly. Appreciate you,
Yes,
Coach.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
Dean.
right.
We'll talk to you later.
Good night.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye.
What an awesome guy. That was awesome.
Thanksgiving return, Bruce.
I can't wait. Also, by the way, I got the immaculate question or something.
Yeah, you had that man in like a respectful blender. It was wild. That
Because,
was
like,
fantastic.
it kind of like, okay, so honestly, I kind of like in my head, I was like, dude, okay, so like I was listening to him talk, and I was like, okay, so you know what? Like when I'm game planning, when I used to game plan, when I was like coaching basketball, like I would like sometimes like, you have to like help like your team out, like you would want to like fit like the players with the scheme that you want to run.
Yeah.
Long story short, like, is it difficult to do in the NBA? So that's why I asked that question. So, but it was so much fun though.
He was fantastic, and you could tell he got warmed up, he got going, and he was getting more comfortable. That was fantastic. I love, and not only I wanted to ask him, I didn't think of it in time. But like, once we get the NBA season going, get him back, get him to talk about, current events and all that. Oh yeah. I'm excited. Bruce, how the Bears doing? I haven't even looked.
I think they're up. What's the score? 17-0.
Oh, so they're going to lose. Perfect. Blow another lead. What was the record? 21?
Oh my God, it is 17-0. What the shit?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's great? I don't even care, to be honest with you, because I have Justin Fields as my quarterback in fantasy, and I have DJ Moore, and I stack those bitches.
They need to score another touchdown so they can break the record for biggest blown.
Oh my God, he had him wide open.
Oh, and he probably missed him because he's trash.
Well, no, it was for the Redskins. And frankly, okay,
Yeah,
so real quick, while we're talking about this, why do the Redskins uniforms look like the Steelers? I can't stand this. Or not Redskins. Jeez. The Commanders or Commodores, whatever the fuck they're called now.
Commie mommies, whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, MJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think an interview with a 20-year NBA coach is better than the fireside chat, personally.
Me too.
So I'm fine with that, replacing it. Just in case you people didn't know, we now have a partnership with W Energy. You can use code Third Down Thursdays for 10% off.
Also, real quick, MJ, on Mondays now, we have our MLB show, Beer vs. Ivy.
Yes.
Give that a watch, guys. It's a fun show. Good
Jackson and Cy. They're going to have our very own Johnny Black, MLB expert.
Bam!
Oh, look at that.
You know what? That being
That's
said,
fancy.
Beer versus Ivy.
Yes, sir. So that'll be live Monday at noon Central Time. And then, as always, me and Bruce, lovely faces here before Thursday Night Football every week at 7 p.m. Central. Brucey Bruce, I believe it's time for the best advertisement in the history of advertisements.
Advertisements?
Advertisements.
Sounds good to me.
Go.
Oh, I got to do it.